Hey. Okay. We're back on the chair. Comfy cozy in my PJs. I got a haircut, you guys. I don't know if you can tell. It's the same length. I want my hair to keep growing out, but I got layers. She looks cute. She looks curly. I feel a lot more like myself. Like the person who I am, who I identify with, is coming out more in my appearance, especially with my hair. Like, I love how free flowing and like, I don't know. It just looks it looks like it frames my face more. I also got thicker bangs. It's giving a little retro. It's giving, I don't know, just like funky, fresh, cool vibes. Yeah. This week this week has, I've really been deep in my manifestations these past couple weeks. I've been writing what I want my reality to be and saying it to myself and believing it. And I don't know, I've been doing this for a while now, but for some reason I can never, like, it's like I always forget that yes, when I ask for these manifestations, they will happen. That is something, like, we got that, right? And we got that it's going to take time. But I always forget that to make room for new things, old things must crumble. It's just interesting to me that I do these manifestations and I say them with so much belief and courage and like trust and self-love in myself, and then I always forget for some reason that the next phase of that manifestation is like dread. It's dread and all of these feelings that I don't want to feel. Like, they always come bubbling up to the surface, and I start feeling insecurities and doubts of like, is this even what I want? Is this even something I can obtain? And like, all of this ugliness almost starts coming out, and I get angry and I seek advice when I already know what it is I need to do. But it's like me trying to, it's almost like I put myself in situations where I know this ugliness is gonna come out because deep down I know it has to come out before the manifestation comes. For example, the thing that I've really been battling this week, and for a long time now, I guess I should share it here, but when I moved to my new city after college, I had such a rough time. I've gone through some pretty bad experiences in my life, and that's in my top 3. Moving down here, the job that I had was a job that made me absolutely miserable. I was living on my own. It was hard to make friends. There was very, very few people that I felt I could connect with. And even then, I couldn't even connect with them with the things I was feeling. Like, I'm not much of, well, I didn't realize how much of an anxious person I was until I moved down here and had to be an adult. I don't know, I was just like thrown into the ring is what it felt like. And on paper, I had all the resources that I needed. I had the personality to meet people and to make friends. And like I put myself in activities that I enjoyed. I like set up allegedly the perfect environment for myself to succeed, to be happy, to thrive. And I never got there. And I was so, well, to some degree, even in my present moment, I don't know, I guess I find it really difficult to make friends. It's not because I don't want to. Maybe it's because I want it so much that I am constantly repelling friendships away from me. I don't know. Maybe it's not that as intense as I'm saying, but... And this is not to diminish the friends that I have. My best friends are my ride or dies, and I know that, and without them, I wouldn't have this podcast. I wouldn't be brave enough to do this. Without them, I would be so small and letting my fears run my life. So it's not that I'm dismissing my friends, my best friends. What I've been struggling with is building a community in my physical city that I'm at right now. Because all of my close friends, obviously what happens when you become an adult is that everybody chooses their city, everybody, disperses and makes their own life in different places and builds their own communities that are separate. And I feel like the time I have taken to build that separate community away from my true close friends, it's been almost stressful or distressing, because I know how to be a friend. I know how to be a great friend. I think that's a quality in myself that I am very aware of, and I know what people need to be taken care of. I'm aware of everybody's little intricacies and love languages. That's something I pride myself on. I think where I have been struggling for so long, it's been difficult finding a match where I receive the same level of appreciation back. And I don't say that to pour guilt into the other person or to make them feel shameful that they can't give me what I want. That's not the case. It's just, I think the way I lead my life and the way I show up to relationships is not something that is necessarily taught to the masses. I think I'm almost rebellious in a way that despite the rejection I might face, and I have experienced quite a bit of rejection in my life, I continuously remain open and remain unshielded when it comes to loving another person. And I don't let my past dictate how I continue showing up in love, in authenticity, in purity. And I think the quote-unquote normal thing to do is to start building a wall or building some sort of barrier when you start experiencing rejection in your life, which obviously everybody goes through. I don't know, I think the older we get, the more we crave safety and stability. Most people like to stay with those who they have already built things with and are comfortable with. And I feel that when I a lot of the times when I come into people's lives, like they have forgotten that essence within themselves. That essence of just, I want to love, I want to support you, I want to uplift you. Like, I think there is some voice in the back of their head saying, okay, and what's the catch? And what do you want from me? Is it like there must be something selfish in the way that you're presenting yourself? Like, what is it that you want to get out of me? I feel like people tend to project that onto me, when in truth, I'm just giving love for the sake of love. And it's so potent, that feeling, that it kind of just overrides the system of the other person. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just too honest with who I am and what I want. And I have tended to be in situations where they shut down, they run away, they distance themselves. Or even the opposite, they recognize that love and they cling to it and almost suffocate me in a way that, like, I'm almost like of service to this person, and because they don't have access to this purity within themselves, they try to hold on to it from me and kind of convert the friendship or this like balanced relationship we had into, now I am the giver and the other person is the taker. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I have really struggled to find balanced relationships, balanced friendships. I don't really know what to do about that. I don't even know if there's anything to do about that. Because I feel like I'm showing up as myself. And this past week I've been very confused as to why I feel like I have all of these boxes ticked in regards to like the things I can offer, the awareness within myself. I saw this post. Maybe I talked about this in another video. I honestly don't remember, but I'm still thinking about it. I saw this post that said, if a situation in your life isn't changing and the way you're addressing it isn't changing, then maybe you're the problem. If I continuously have these moments where I don't necessarily feel seen in my relationships, or like I have difficulty bonding with the people in my physical life, the people that are around me in person, maybe it's because it has happened so many times, my brain is already expecting that this is going to fail. And maybe I just need to stop expecting failure in the way I define failure. And maybe all of these rejections, maybe it is true. Maybe I do constantly get rejected, and that's just the experience I have chosen to live in this life, is to have a deep understanding of what it means to be rejected and how to surpass that. Maybe that's what it is. And maybe with each rejection that I experience, I am one step closer to my actual manifestations. And maybe what all of this resistance is adding up to be is a very beautiful, fulfilling, communal life. Maybe I'm just getting all of this wackiness out of the way so that in the future, and maybe it is the near future, I will have a very clear sense of who is going to fulfill me in my life and who is not, who is strong enough in their self-worth to have a beautiful, lasting, deep relationship with me. Because I'll admit, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know that I can be very intense and passionate and driven and honest. I'm very honest with myself, and I think that the people around me also deserve that honesty. And I don't think these are traits, especially in women, that are necessarily expected, or like, I think I'm battling the expectations of what people expect a woman in friendships is, or just a woman in relationships in general is. Like, I am combating all of it. Like, I have a very strong moral compass, and just as I don't let myself go against my beliefs and my values, I'm not gonna let you slip and slide and do all this stuff either. And I think to some people that means that I'm unforgiving, or like too direct. But it's like in my head, it's just like, why are we wasting time here? Like, why are we going around in circles when you can just be straight up? Yeah, this modern world is really strange to me, because it feels like the more I embrace myself and the more I allow myself to live in authenticity, I face more resistance. And I think it's because we have built, over time, society has built itself on conformity and on a list of rules that you must follow. And authenticity is so spontaneous and unpredictable. And because it is unpredictable, I think to people it may be perceived as frightening. We have trained ourselves to dismiss it and to walk away from it. And I think that that's what I've been experiencing. It's not necessarily the person in essence that is rejecting me. It is like, if I am accepted by a person, that means that they must accept all of the ways that I reject society as a whole. And if you have built your life upon these rules of what people expect from you, of what you have been taught to believe brings success, and I am constantly contradicting all of that, you start to question, well, so why have I been doing this myself if it's not actually what I want to do? It's what I've been told to do. And I think just by allowing me in your space, you have to face all of that. And depending on your age, depending on how consistently you've been following this schedule, this unspoken schedule, it might be really daunting. And it might be quite terrifying that all of these things that you once believed don't necessarily ring any truth. It can to some people, but maybe with you it doesn't, and you have to acknowledge that. And then you have to, it's too scary to readjust your entire reality, because in essence that's what it does. Like, our societal expectations shape our entire world if you're not aware of it. Damn, am I just an aware baddie? Is that is that what it is? And honestly, if I'm really being true to myself, I think the reason at least one of the major reasons why I started recording myself and why I started posting my thoughts online is because I have faced so much resistance in my day-to-day of finding people that are compatible with me. And I've resorted into, well, if no one in my physical life can engage in me in the ways that I wish, maybe they're not here. Maybe they're somewhere else. Maybe I have to reach out and make myself visible in the ways that I can. And for me right now, it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, it's on the internet. And maybe the right people will come in time. And maybe this is just what these are the relationships I'm meant to have. Like, I'm not meant to simply live my life in one place. Maybe I have all of these friends in all of these different places because my life is worldwide. My life is international. My life is bigger than what I believe it to be, or that I want it to be in this moment. Maybe the things that, like, maybe the universe is asking me to wait as long as I have waited because the end result is so intensely beautiful that I can't even comprehend what it's going to be. Like, the dreams that I have can't even amount to what I'm going to receive. And maybe all of this patience and all of this perceived rejection is actually protection, to give myself time to look within myself, to recognize the specifics of my desires so that they can be so potent and precise and unwavering that the only outcome is that there is no questioning of what I want, because I have been given so much time to contemplate it. And maybe that's what I need to recognize, that I have the strength to be so patient and be so unwilling to compromise. Maybe that's the gift. Maybe so many people out there have so many friends because they are willing to compromise on their friendships. They're willing to compromise because company is more important than authenticity to them. And that's fine if you think company to you is more important than authenticity, but to me it's not. To me, if I can't truly be myself, and if I can't truly say the things that I want to say to you, and know that you're going to be receptive and supportive, and vice versa. Like, if there is not that level of vulnerability and trust within my relationships, genuinely, I don't want it. I don't. And again, I know that's kind of contradictory to say in this society when the idea of a friend is to have different friends for different things, and like, I don't know, I just don't agree with that. I think that is the idea societally as a friend, like what we define as friends, is so superficial to me. I don't see the point of spending time with people when you find it easier to hide parts of yourself instead of sharing your entire soul. I think what I'm looking for is soulmates. My definition of a friend is a soulmate. And I think most people identify soulmates as romantic partners, which I agree with that as well, but that's not everything. Like, your romantic partner, in my opinion, shouldn't be the only person that you can speak to, like, blatantly. And I don't think we should limit ourselves to only like one best friend or two best friends. I think there are so many people out there that want soulmates and they're too afraid to admit it. And so they settle, and again, they are confirmed through society that, okay, this is what a friend is. And sometimes they're not going to see me in the ways that I want to be seen, and that's okay. But in my opinion, that's not a friend, that's an acquaintance. So I think my definition is just so far off from what people consider friends, and maybe that's why I have faced all of this friction regarding that. Maybe all that there is to do is wait, because I know if I exist and if I have these thoughts and if I have these beliefs, there must be people out there that think the same as me. and that have needed to live a pretty solitary life because they refuse to compromise. They would rather feel happy and genuine in their own energy than wanting to have to shut parts of themselves off when they're around certain people. Yeah. I think I was feeling a little down and a tad bit hopeless when I started this, but I'm glad that I did this, because now, after speaking my thoughts aloud and going through this thought process, I think I'm alright. I think I'm cool with waiting. I think I'm cool doing the things I want to do by myself and giving my soul family time to arrive. I think they deserve that. I think if my soul family is really as good as I envision it to be, it is worth everything that I'm doing now. Because I already have some of my soul family. I have them in my best friends. And because I know how fulfilling it is to have these people in my life, how whole I feel after a conversation with any of them, how just genuinely grateful I am to have them in my life, I know my soul family, or the rest of my soul family, is going to be beautiful. And once they are in my life, the time it took for them to get here is going to be so inconsequential and so minimal in comparison to the love I will feel by being surrounded by them. Slay. Here's to hopefulness. Here's to gratitude. Here's to patience being the way. Even if it's uncomfortable at times, maybe that's the whole point. Maybe it's to build the stamina for even more patience, to allow even greater things to enter. Because greatness takes time. Greatness takes time. That's all. Bye, guys.